Hey everybody, welcome back to the IHC Craft Room. I'm so excited to hang out with you for this surprise Sunday craft session. This is Holiday How-To Series Live number 17, and it's a surprise because this is not a day that I normally do lives. But I really wanted to fit some wax melts into my live rotation, and I figured why not do it on a Sunday afternoon? I think it's a fun time. Now, if you're going to be crafting along with me today and you're going to be making some wax melts, grab your stuff and we're going to get started. But if you're not and you just want to chill with me, get comfy, grab something yummy. Preferably chocolate if it's up to me, just saying. All right, so we're going to get started. Today, I'm going to be making 3 different flavored or rather scented wax melts. And we're going to be doing that using pillar wax because we're going to be using these super cute Christmas-inspired silicone molds that I have. So pillar wax is definitely the way to go to make sure that nothing breaks when we're demolding. It's not to say that they won't break, but it makes it less likely, really. So I have an open bag I'm gonna use while we begin our measuring. So let me just grab my scale. And I just said I had another bag. Where did I put it? Let's find it. How silly, I put it away. Okay, so we are going to be using 3 different fragrances today. And because of that, I'm gonna actually split up my melted wax into 3 different containers. The one that it's currently going to be melting in, and then I have a couple of these Pyrex measuring cups off to the side. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to be using 3 different colors for our wax melts, 3 different fragrances. So we need 3 different vessels for that. So I'm going to melt everything all together first, and we're only going to make about 100 grams in total for today, because you really got to guess when it comes to wax melts, unless you're using a clamshell. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to 300 grams and get this melting, and then we can do all the chatting. So I'm going to do 300 grams total so that I have 100 grams of melted wax per fragrance oil. Hold on. Let me focus. Yeah. All right. So we're going to pop this into the double boiler. Ooh, I have too much water in here. Ooh, I got to keep an eye on that. Okay, and now we're going to be doing 10% fragrance load, which is my standard for candles. And if I were using a different wax for this melt project, I would be using 12% fragrance load. Particularly if I were to use Millennium Soy Wax, which is an excellent melt wax. I highly recommend if you're going to be using clamshells. But since we're using silicone molds, I want to make sure that my shapes don't fall apart when we take them or demold them. So pillar is going to be the wax we're going to use today instead. So with that in mind, we can only do a 10% fragrance load. That's the maximum that's allowed for that type of wax. So I'm going to go ahead and pour out 10 grams of fragrance oil, of each of these fragrance oils, in preparation for when this melts. And as we do that, we're going to talk about each of these fragrances. So fragrance number 1 is called Silent Night, and it has top notes of bergamot and winter mint, mid notes of lavender, rosemary, crisp winter night accord, and base notes of patchouli, tonka bean, and white musk. It actually has a lot of a pepperminty smell to me. And Silent Night is a very appropriately named fragrance, let me tell you, because it does make you think of a cold winter night when it's really quiet outside. So I'm going to go ahead and put my gloves on so that I don't end up making myself smell like fragrance oil. We're going to keep an eye on that wax. And since I want to do a 10% fragrance load, I am going to just do 10 grams of fragrance oil for each of these. Okay, calm down. Chill, bro. I just need to have paper towels ready because I'm very good at spilling things and we don't like that. Here we go. 10 grams. perfect. Oh, so proud, and yet nothing to be proud of because you weren't right. I'm going to use a pipette to grab a gram out of there. Beautiful. The reason it matters, the reason why you need to stay within the load of your wax is because if you don't, if you exceed that, if your fragrance oil percentage exceeds what the wax can actually hold, you are asking to have major, major sweating happen to your project, where you're going to get like fragrance oil across the top of your items, whether it's a candle or in this case melts. You don't want that sweaty scent. It's not cool, bro. Okay, so Silent Night, we're going to make those melts no color, white. Okay, next we're going to move on to Holiday Nostalgia. This is a fragrance I used recently for another project, actually the project I did yesterday for the Grinch and my Santa Claus dotted belt and Rudolph. It's a super cute project. For those of you live right now, check it out on my channel. And for anybody watching this in the replay, Mary from the future is going to put that video right up here because what a fun project that was. But let's focus. We're going to use Holiday Nostalgia, 10 grams. Here we go. Oh, Mary, way to overshoot it by a ton. Keeping an eye on that wax. Okay, remember we're shooting for 10 grams. Holy. Beautiful. Now, Holiday Nostalgia, we're going to make green for, Christmas colors. We're going to be using this green liquid dye to do that. It's very concentrated. And then fragrance number 3 is a new fragrance at Village Craft and Candle that they just launched, I think, a couple months ago, called Mulled Plum. Listen to these fragrances. Oh, I didn't talk about that Holiday Nostalgia. Please hold. Let's go back to Holiday Nostalgia. The fragrance notes on this fragrance are top apple, peach, and wild berries. The mid is ripe cranberry, green raspberry vines, and sage leaf. And the base is clove and cedar leaf. I love this fragrance. I'm a big, big fan of Holiday Nostalgia. It's very fruity. I love it. Okay, now let's go back to Mulled Plum. Mulled Plum is a fairly new fragrance from Village Craft and Candle. This is actually my first time using this fragrance in a project. And the fragrance notes for this fragrance are the top is clove bud, sweet orange, cinnamon sticks. The mid is black plum, holly berry, and mulled apple. And the base is tonka bean, patchouli, and sugared raspberry. Doesn't that sound yum yums? All right, we're shooting for 10 grams on this guy too. All right. This is the first one I don't actually have to mess around with. Oh, that smells really, really nice. I'm going to really enjoy testing this in a melt. I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I'm a huge fan of testing new fragrances by making wax melts, because then you're not worrying about, all the extra things that could go wrong when you're making a candle that might impact the scent throw or the scent of the actual fragrance. So I'm going to take my gloves off for a second. And we're going to start preparing to... I lost a finger in here. Oh, boy. All right. We're going to need a new set of gloves. What was I about to say? Right. We want to make sure that the surface of our table is covered so that there is no possibility for messy. I'm really, really good at making messy. So I'm going to cover this with parchment paper. Just had a quick look at the wax. It's still melting nicely. Okay. So basically, oh, I remember what I was saying now. I totally lost my train of thought for a second there. I like to test fragrance using wax melts because you don't have to worry about the wax wick fragrance oil combination and what that might do with your scent throw. Instead, you're going to be really just focused on the scent of the fragrance because it's not competing with anything. So that's why I love doing it, but you know, do you? So we're only going to fill a few today, which is why I'm only doing 100 grams of each color. And that's because, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Once we finish this part, mix in our fragrance, mix in our color, and start to pour. From that point, I'm going to bring out some melts that I made last night. And we are going to package them up as gifts for our friends and fam. Because why not? That's the fun of making wax melts for Christmas and having these fun little shapes. Now, in terms of where I get my silicone molds, I actually get them all over the place. My favorite place by far is the dollar store. So these guys come from Dollarama and they are beautiful. Dollarama just started really with these, like any seasonal kind of silicone molds. And I'm super jazzed about it. I mean, they're not made for candle making, so they might not live forever, but like, who cares? At least if you get a little bit of use out of them, why not? And they're like $1.75 or something. So a real steal to get them at. And they're good quality as well. These ones I picked up from Amazon. Amazon is really great for silicone molds, but can be a little hit or miss. So keep that in mind. I can't believe it's still not fully melted, considering how much water there is in here and how immersed in it is. Anyway, so Amazon is definitely a good option. I got this one from Michael's Canada with like a 40% off coupon because that's the only way I shop at Michael's. And I also have gotten molds. Oh my God, I get molds all over the place. Literally anywhere I see it, if it's cute, I'm going to buy it. But my favorite place by far is definitely the dollar store. So let's give this wax a little stir and see if we can get it moving a little more. I don't know what your big problem is. Maybe you're too out of the water. I feel like you should be a lot more melted by now. I need another piece of parchment paper for this. All right. So we're going to let that melt as patiently as we can. While we wait, let's talk a little bit about what kind of wrapping we're going to be doing for all of this. Now, I have a whole bunch of different wax melt warmers that I've picked up at the dollar store over time. This is one that I've had for many years. I think it's super cute. It has a little bee on it. I've used it before in other videos. I love it. It's super cute. And then there's this style, which is, this is the most traditional style. The Screaming Man. Ah, don't put a candle in me. Ah, like that guy. It's pretty standard, but I haven't been able to find them lately. I went looking just yesterday and I actually found these ones, which are super cool. I've never seen this flower look before. I got these at the Dollar Tree. A few different colors they have, although I only got the white. And then I got these guys, which I guess are kind of like the traditional ones. And they look like they're wood, but they're not. It's like, I don't know, clay, porcelain, I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of these options in terms of wax melters. And I personally have a electric wax melter. Warmer, I think they're called. Melt warmers. I have an electric one that I bought off of Amazon, which I was really excited about because it had a timer. So you could totally just turn it on for like an hour and it would shut itself off, which was awesome for like the first, I don't know, 4 days. And then it stopped working. The timer part stopped working. But the actual melter works beautifully and I love it. It is definitely something I would highly recommend you pick up, especially if you like using wax melts, which I do. Wax melts are, in my opinion, the biggest bang for your buck that you're going to get in terms of scent throw with minimal effort, because you're not going to be lighting 16 candles in the room, and you have to have such a time commitment with the candle. You have to wait for the candle to like melt across the top on your first burn. So you definitely want to be doing, you know, at least a 2 or 3 hour burn when you light your candle for the first time. Whereas with wax melts, you don't need to worry about that. All you need is a little tea light like this guy that I picked up at the dollar store for $2, a big pack of them, or you can make them yourself. I actually rarely make. I think it's been like 3 years since I made a tea light. Maybe I'll do that in an upcoming live. But you're definitely it's not gonna take much to get these little tea lights from the dollar store. And using that, you can use a couple of melts and you'll get instant scent throw. Instant. It takes next to nothing, 15 minutes at most, and your entire room is going to smell like a lovely fragrance. So I highly recommend wax melts, especially if you don't have a time commitment or the ability to commit all that time. Just blow out the tea light and go about your life, and you don't have to worry about tunneling and everything else that would happen if you were concerning yourself with this one, talking about candles. How we doing, bro? I feel like there might be something wrong with my burner because this is highly weird that it's taking this long for it to melt. Like, it's not a lot of wax to begin with. And it's been on like for 15 minutes now. That's plenty. Do y'all thing. Anyway, what else can we talk about while we wait for the wax to melt? How about if we start demolding some of the ones I've already made, and I can stop playing musical chairs with my silicone molds because I'm bored. Let's do that. Let's demold some of the ones I already made ahead of time. And then we will come back. Once that's melted, we'll come back to these guys. Let's pile you up. After all of that, moving them around. So these, I made a bunch last night, red, green, and white, but I only have red still to unmold or demold. And again, I definitely use Pillar Soy Wax for this because it's super important. It's the reason why hopefully we won't be decapitating any gingerbread men today. And you'll notice that I did not make any of these, what are these things called? Candy canes. But I made some of these. And that's because I've tried to demold these candy canes 100 times. And if I don't break 3 out of 4, it's just not a normal day. So I don't waste my time on them anymore. These ones I think are a little bit less of a sharp curve, which is the problem. It's this little curve here. But anyway, these have been curing now for over a day, which is not necessary, by the way. Well, yes and no. In terms of being able to demold, you can demold your wax melts within a few hours. They'll be strong enough that you can do that. But in terms of fragrance throw, soy wax is something you always want to let cure for about 10 days. That is when you'll get the best scent throw because the wax and fragrance have had a chance to not only bind during the mixing process, but while they've been sitting together, holding hands for 10 days, they have definitely combined even more. Look at how beautifully those came out. These cute little gingerbread men. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah. All right, guys. And then, how you doing? Are we getting there? You're taking forever. All right. Now, I always include hearts in any of my wax melt making, regardless of the season, whether it's Halloween or Christmas or Valentine's Day, because you can have love at every season. Okay. Okay. So, okay. You see how I'm not breaking these off? How everything is staying in place? I should have made some with Freedom Soy Wax or Millennium. Millennium Soy Wax is made for melts, but try to put it in a silicone mold and you're going to have many multi-piece pieces because it's not designed to be this sturdy the way this one is. Okay, we've got Santa, a tree, a stocking, and a candy cane. Boop! Look at that. What screams Christmas? This screams Christmas. That's right. Tell your friends. Then we've got Frosty over here. Yeah, he's cute too. I'm about 99% sure that these molds are made for, and this is a present. Okay. These molds are made for chocolate, I believe. So keep that in mind. They're not designed for wax melt making, as far as I know. So it wouldn't be unusual for your molds to not last a super long time when you're buying molds that are not designed for this purpose. You know what I mean? All right, we are coming up on the end of our wax melting. I can see there's just a little tiny bit left. 7 years later. All right. Look at how great these hearts came out. I didn't make these big, massive ones because the wax melt or the warmers tend to be a little bit on the smaller side. So I didn't want wax to creep over the edges. But feel free to make bigger wax melts if you like, as long as your warmer can handle it. Look at how cute these little gifts are. I got this one from the dollar store as well, this silicone mold. I'm a big fan. Right? All right, it looks like we're almost there for the wax. Let me use my temperature gun. And then we're going to move all of these guys out of here so we can start pouring. Okay, we're at 190, which is the minimum amount you want to melt the wax. Is the minimum temperature is 190 because the wax needs to be open enough to accept the fragrance oil chemically. And for this particular wax, they recommend 190 degrees to melt at. Or melt to. Ooh. Okay, I'm just going to move these melts out of the way. Wow, I really left a lot to demold, eh? Much more than I expected. So, now they're going to be all messy on my board over here, but that's okay. We will live with the chaos. It's not a big deal. Okay, good. All done. I'm going to start mixing and pouring here. So, first of all, let's scoot this out of the way. Okay, we are definitely over what we need. I'm going to grab this. Beautiful. We're going to turn this off. And I'm going to move this off camera so I don't accidentally burn myself. Beautiful. All right. You can ski daddle. Thank you for your service. Appreciate it. And I'm going to set myself up over here. So the number one thing or tip I can give you in terms of pouring wax melts is prepare thyself. Because when things go sideways, they'll go fast. And we don't want things to go sideways. So always have, if you are able to, pick up a few pipettes are useful in this situation, especially for these smaller cavities. You could definitely use a pipette for that. Or you can be messy about it. No one's going to stop you. I mean, really. So let's go ahead and measure out our wax a little bit. I'm going to scoot you guys out of the way. Now, remember, we're going to be doing 3 different fragrances with 3 different colors. So let's start. We want to pour out 100 grams in each so that we have 100 grams of each color. I should have heated up my vessel. You see how it instantly started to solidify on the bottom? Oh, I went too far. Too much. It's because I didn't heat up the bottom of the vessel, so it immediately started to solidify. So let's do that for this one. And hopefully that will help keep this at a reasonable temperature. Let's move you out of the way real quick. Okay, another 100 grams in here. That didn't help much, did it? Oh, well. Oh, gosh. Well, this one's going to be under by a lot because now I've put an extra 3 there and an extra 5 here. But I don't want to waste any more time on that because my wax is chilling and we want it to mix well with the fragrance oils. And I can only do 2 at a time. So we're going to start with Silent Night right here. I'm going to be fascinated to see if this can actually work because it seems to me that this wax is going to chill too quickly. Maybe I should bring my double boiler out here. Oh man, doesn't that smell nice? Now, Silent Night is the one that's going to stay with no color. My wax is quickly solidifying on me around the edges here. Do I have another stir stick here? Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and do Holiday Nostalgia. This one's going to be green. It would have been smarter if I had gotten a stir stick that was the right color. It would have helped me remember. Okay, so we want to stir for about 3 minutes to let our fragrance oil and wax really bind together. And this is just because of chemical bonding. Like the bottom line is you absolutely want your wax to get up to at least 185 degrees Fahrenheit in most cases. Specifically for this type of wax, Pillar Wax advises 190 degrees. And that's because it's going to allow the wax, like the chemical bonding of the wax and the fragrance oil to happen because it kind of opens up all of the stuff, all of the sciencey stuff. You know what I mean? So this wax that I have off camera right now, that I'm not touching, that I don't even have fragrance oil in right now, I think I might have to pop it into the microwave because there's no way I'm going to be able to do all 3 of these at the same time. So full disclosure, if I was making these wax melts at home for myself, I would not have done it in a double boiler. I only did it because I wanted to show it step by step in front of you rather than me going off screen to use my microwave. But the truth is that when you're using these wax beads, using a microwave is the fastest way. It really is. And it keeps all of this chaos from happening. Look at all that wax stuck to my stir stick. So I can't pour this like this. So I am going to go and pop this into the microwave because it does need to be liquid. So we did not accomplish anything. So that just goes to show you. I was hoping to be not going off screen to do that, but unfortunately, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So this is going to be green. I'm going to go ahead and add a few drops of green in here because this is holiday nostalgia. And I'm not wearing any gloves, so let's hope I don't get any on my skin. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do 5 drops. It's a very concentrated color. I got to put my gloves on. I am paranoid. Let me go grab that wax out of there. Too many things are happening at the same time. Panic at the Disco. All right. So now this is a lot better, but it's still not totally melted. But much, much better than it was. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring this one in a second. Let's see what I got it up to. 191. Okay. Go off, Queen. I really want to mix this color in quickly before everything goes crazy. So yes, in terms of doing this at home, here's what I would recommend. Definitely use the Pillar Soy Wax. That's what you want if you're using silicone molds. It's going to be the best experience that you'll have. Let's go ahead and pour some of these now. But rather than using a double boiler method, I would definitely pop it into the microwave instead, using one of these Pyrex type of measuring cups. These beaded type of wax from American Soy Organics, it's designed to be melted in the microwave. So it's super fun and easy and fast. It's going to be like, 5 minutes. Okay, I'm having troubles over here. Let's do a couple of white hearts. And we'll do a couple of gingerbread men. And making wax melts is just so easy. Once you know your math, and this math couldn't have been easier. 100 grams of wax, 10% fragrance load means we did 10 grams of fragrance oil. And there we go, all done. Beautiful. Okay, you scram. We need to focus. I am not going to be able to put this in the microwave because this one is in a metal. I should have poured this one first. How can I melt you? I could probably try to pop it into the hot water. It's probably still warm. You know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to put this in the microwave. Oh my God, this is so awesome. The hot water, I didn't dump it out of my saucepan, so we are going to, now I still haven't even poured in the fragrance oil into the one that I just popped into the microwave, so that one will do as we continue. But yeah, I would highly recommend always doing your melts in the microwave. It's super fast, it's convenient, and it avoids all the chaos that's going on here right now with trying to split up a small amount of wax. Of course, it's going to cool. Of course, it's going to start solidifying. You're going to have a hard time getting everything to mix, which is exactly what's happening right now, which is fine by me. But if you're doing this for the first time, I would definitely avoid the pandemonium that is occurring at this moment. All right, let's go ahead and mix in the mulled plum. And this needs to be stirred for 3 minutes. Now, I have the Holiday Nostalgia that is dyed green sitting in my double boiler saucepan, which is no longer on the heat. I took that off earlier. But it is in the warm water in the saucepan. So hopefully that will help melt it down while we do this guy. So remember, we want to stir the fragrance oil for about 3 minutes to help the wax and fragrance oil bind together. But yeah, I love making wax melts. Now, silicone molds are the easiest way, like in my opinion, when you have, okay, let me give you an example. Let's say I'm making candles and I somehow overshot and I ended up with a bunch of leftover melted scented wax. These silicone molds are awesome. They are the perfect way to not waste your scented wax. You could pour a bunch of wax melts and then use that later. Like, who wouldn't want that? Now, if you were giving these away as gifts, not necessarily wax melts, but in general, let's say you're making a bunch of candles and you have all this leftover wax, so you decide to make wax melts out of them. It's really nice to add a little, like maybe a little Ziploc bag with a couple of the different fragrances to let people know what the scent smells like. Or if you're starting a new candle line for your business and you want to see if people are interested in that fragrance, Wax melts are a wonderful way to share fragrance really easily without, like I said, a big time commitment. Look at how fast these are starting to solidify. Look at these guys. Yeah, it is super fun and so easy. Pop it in the microwave, melt it down, add your fragrance oil, stir it up for 3 minutes, pour, and you're done. If you had clamshells, same deal, no different. The only difference would be that you would have a more accurate maker math equation, because I'm totally guessing here. I don't know how many mils or grams fill these for. And I have way more. You saw the ones I just demolded. So at any point, if I have more, I can just pop a few more silicone trays out and fill it in. But to estimate how much you need, that's just a guess when you're filling silicone molds. Whereas if I was using a clamshell, like the clamshells that you get from Village Craft and Candle are 2.5 ounces for their 6 cavity clam, which is a really nice substantial amount, so that you get, you know, one of those cubes will last you for a while for a burn. You know what I mean? It's not okay. Let's go ahead and add our color. We've been stirring for enough time. It's been about 3 minutes. I want this to be very vibrant red, so I'm actually going to put like 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 100 grams is not a lot of wax. So 7 is a lot of liquid dye to be adding. It's going to be very red, which I do want them to be very red. You know, Christmas. So we're going to have red, white, and green. Once we're done pouring this one, I'll go grab that green one out of the double boiler saucepan that's chilling in my other room. And we'll see how it does. Now, I remember earlier I mentioned that you definitely want to stir your fragrance oil for 3 minutes in your melted wax. But fragrance and color are different. So you don't need to stir color for as long. 30 seconds will do you nicely. We just want to make sure everything gets incorporated. All right. Yeah, that's a nice red. Okay, let us begin to pour. First, we'll do Santa. So having these measuring cups with a spout is really useful, but it is a challenge even still. When I was making these last night, I used a much bigger measuring cup and I filled it with a lot more wax. And let me tell you how much I regretted that, because the dexterity that you're going to have is not going to be good. Or at least it wasn't for me. Couple of candy cane man. And then I'm going to do a couple of snowflakes. Like I mentioned earlier, these are quite large. I'll have to do at least one red heart. You see how this wax is solidifying? Okay, one more here. A really thin little star. Okay, let me go grab that green. I'm not even going to try to clean this because it's already half solidified. I'll just have to deal with it later. Okay, let's see how the green is doing, if it's gotten melty. Not really. I mean, it's a little bit more melted, but not by much. So we're going to pour this thick. And live with it. Look at how thick that is. It's a whole big pile. All right. We're going to pour it thick. Now, to be clear, I do not recommend pouring thick wax because it's going to come out chunky like that. And you're going to get layers instead of a nice smooth wax melt. But this all went sideways really quickly. So we're going to move this aside, pretend none of that happened. And we're going to go ahead and start preparing our gifts because I actually do have a bunch of melts ready. for this purpose. So let's clean off our area real quick so that I have room to make the presents. Okay. You guys can go up here. Color. Beautiful. So we're going to make this. Are you hot still? No, you're good. So you can skedaddle onto the floor, out of the way. And I'm going to shift these guys off to the side so that we can focus on preparing. Ooh, I don't actually think I have enough room on my table for this, but we're going to make it happen. Let's scoot this and this. Okay. So here are all of the wax melts that I made this weekend. Wow. That's quite a lot, isn't it? So we're going to use these to make gifts for our friends and fam. We have all the different colors, all the different fragrances we already talked about. And you can see that these wax melts that we just poured are already solidifying really, really well off to the side. But here's a whole bunch that I already made ahead of time. Now, in terms of how we're going to package these for our people, I picked up a couple of options from the dollar store this weekend. We've got a bunch of canning jars that are the perfect size for what we're looking for. If you wanted to give somebody a whole bunch, you can get this bigger pack. And they were, how much were you? $3.50 at Dollarama. Or there's a smaller pack, $3.25. They're 250 ml. This is probably what I would lean towards when I'm giving these away, but feel free to use the big ones as well. So we're going to use these to start with. And then another thing that I found at the dollar store that I thought was super cute are these little tins. This was $2, super cute, and it's great because it'll keep the smell of with the lid on, it'll keep the smell in. So that is a big bonus. So let's get started. We're going to start with this one since I have it in my hand. And basically all I'm going to do is grab a little bit from each and pop them in. Actually, let's start with the smaller mason jar. Okay. Which is a really nice size. Okay. So I'm going to just random. She's so random. Oh my gosh, how cute does this look though? Like, get out of here. Now, I have chosen not to make labels for these because I like the variety. Now, I would tell people, though, what the fragrances are. But, like, how cute does that look? Right? So cute. Okay, we're going to put that aside. Let's do a big one next. Where did I put them? Over here. Now, you, of course, could put these in pretty much any kind of container you want. It doesn't have to be mason jars. But the reason why I gravitate towards things like this is because of the lid. Having that lid that you can screw into place is a big deal. Ooh, let's drop one of these big ones. Some white, a little bit of trees, some more green Santa, candy cane. Oh, we need some red. Red. A little bit more green, a little bit more white. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So, so cute. Again, I always think, what would I love to get? And I feel like, who wouldn't like this? This is so fun. It's vivaciously fun. It's Christmassy. It gives you 3 different fragrances that you can enjoy. That's so cute. That is so, so cute. What did I do with the lid here? Okay. So there we go. 2 different sizes. Who do you like more? You give them the big one. And then we're going to do this tin. We're going to drop a variety of everything in here. Don't be shy. Rando. A little bit more white and some candy canes. How about a snowflake? Some more green. Some of these gifts. So this is the person you love the most. Like the most, because this is no joke, the amount that are in here. Boom. Another great way to hold in the scent. Beautiful. So cute, right? So cute. Let's do a couple more and finish these up because I might as well. We're here. Do another big one. Gingerbread man. Be friends with those guys. A heart. Oh. It is so random. The randomness. So cute. Like, get out of here. Get out of here how cute these things are. We'll do another little one. I'm not going to package up all of these because I don't have that kind of spare time today, guys, just to be clear. But we are going to package them a bit. We're going to do a couple of different options of how you can package these up to give away to people. So cute. Okay. So you obviously don't need to be wearing gloves to do this in case you're normal, but I don't like having wax in my nails. So that's why I'm wearing rubber gloves for this part, but you know, you do you. So we're going to do all of these because I made a lot of wax melts, man. I no joke around. I am very serious. All right. Let's get one of these in the bottom. These are the last snowflakes we have. So one for you too. Okay. We're going to do some green gingerbread man and some red and a little bit of white. We're running low on white. I think I made more red and green than I did white. Oh, I can fit more in here. I can fit more in here. See, these would make really good gifts for like a neighbor or a teacher or a coworker or maybe like a Kris Kringle or something like that. Like, you know, somebody who you maybe don't know super duper well, but you want to give them something nice. This is a great fun gift that you can give that would really, I think, be well received. Stay in there, bro. I'm going to leave a gap for some white. Let's get one of those white hearts in there. Some more Santas. A couple of green hearts. I think I want to put some more white on top of here. All right. No, too much. Move around. Be friends. Accommodate. Thank you. All right. Beautiful. So that leaves us with these little guys. And you know what that means? That means I'm going to just have to melt them myself and enjoy the fragrance. Oh, no. It sucks to be me. So I'm not going to give these to anybody. I'm going to put these aside for Mary. And let's get started making these gifts now. First, let me get these gloves off because who likes wearing gloves? Not me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to give what I like to call a ready-to-open present. We'll will do one for each of these. So that means as soon as the person you gift this to opens the gift, they'll be able to use it immediately because we're going to give them everything that they need. So first they're going to get these containers full of our wax melts, which are so cute. Oh my God. Right? Then we're going to add one of our melters, whichever one you want, whichever one blows your hair back. We have a whole bunch of them here, different styles. I even have a black one from last year, but it's far away, so I'm not going to touch it right now. So my plan is to literally put it on top like a hat, and we're going to stack them and wrap them. That's the plan. So let's start with this one. I want to do this wood. It looks like wood, but it's not wood. It's ceramic. Take that off so easily. And what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my cellophane, if I can find where I put it. Cellophane, here you are. Hello, my friend. We're going to grab some cellophane. And, oh, wait, before I go any further, I took this out for a reason. These are caution labels. I highly recommend if you are going to give anybody anything that is like a melt or a candle, always make sure you put a caution label on the bottom. It's in your best interest and the interest of the people you're gifting it to. Now, Village Craft and Candle has these bilingual melt labels, but you don't need to buy them. You can make them yourselves. Just go online and look for a warning label for wax melts, and you'll be able to find a ton for sure. But I highly recommend you always put a label in, especially with wax melts, yes, but especially with candles. You want to make sure that you're making sure that you cover all your bases. You don't want anybody to be like, oh, I didn't know that, and I lit my house on fire. Well, dumbass, let me be the first to tell you. Learn how to work your candles. Now this one has, so I'm gonna just cover this because why not? I'm not gonna try to peel that off. I don't have that kind of free time. All right, that's plenty. So we have our warning labels on now. I'm gonna go ahead and put these. We're going to start with you and you. Now you can totally stick a little piece of tape in between them if you want, but I'm going to tie this really tight, so I don't really think it's going to be needed. It's not going to shift around all that much. So I bought this cellophane from the dollar store. Comes in a roll like regular wrapping paper. Okay, I just finished that roll. It's a good thing I have another one. I want to say for $1.25 or something, $1.50. Who knows? The dollar store, it all depends what time of day or what time of year you're going. And basically all we're going to do is sit that in the center and make sure to add a tea light so that we've got, let me flip this to the side. You've got your wax melts. You've got your tea light in your melter. People can literally cut this open and light it immediately. I love it. And I can't snap my fingers. So it's going to sit right in there. We'll go right in the center of this piece of cellophane. And before I go any further, I'm going to grab a pipe cleaner. I like to use pipe cleaners to tighten up my gifts. I find it easier for people to unwrap. Mind you, you can always just cut whatever is there. But I find it easier to tie them together with a pipe cleaner, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm putting this right at the center. Well, I'm close, but no cigar. That's good. Pinch it in the center and hold it tight. And we want to have our jar in the middle of this spread, which it's not. I feel like that's more like the middle. Okay, great. Now I'm going to grab each side and pull it up to the center like a little teepee. Start with things that have a corner. And we'll come back for the ones that hang out like this. Okay, we're gonna grab this corner and bring it up, and this corner and bring it up, and then grab that one from the side, grab this one from the side, and now we have a really tight hole. And let me show you what that looks like. So cute, right? Now I'm gonna grab my pipe cleaner and just scrunch this tight with my hand. We're gonna put that around, and I'm gonna do a twist and tighten. And I'm just gonna twist this one time and twirl. I'm basically just tucking, I'm tucking it, let me show you. I'm just tucking it around. Now you could leave it like that, make a little bow out of it if you want. You could cut it. But I'm trying to make this easy for my friends to open, not complicated. So I'll just give it a quick twist. Now I'm going to add, because of this super cute, like wood looking wax melt, I'm going to actually use, where did I put you? Yay. I'm going to use some jute cord to tie around it and make like a big bow. But this is like the simplest bow. The bow you use to tie your shoelaces. That's the kind of bow we're going to do here. Now you can totally cover the pipe cleaner. You could also get rid of the pipe cleaner now. Once we do this, if you don't like the way that looks, you can take that pipe cleaner right out, because now we have it situated the way we want. I'm just going to make these level, and then I'm going to twist around and around and come back to the front. And then I'm going to tie this like a shoelace. Cross, under, rabbit ears. I don't know how to say this to people. I just know how to do it. And there you go. What a cute little present, right? You got your tea light ready to go. As soon as you hand this to somebody, they can just open it up and use it. Now I am going to take this pipe cleaner out because I actually don't like the way it looks with the jute cord. It's kind of competing. The jute cord has that farmhouse kind of rustic look, and this pipe cleaner is a little too fancy. Had I known I was going to do this, I probably wouldn't have done such a great job with the pipe cleaner. But it is not a problem. Beautiful. And there you go. I love it. I'm thrilled. Can't wait to give this to somebody. So I'm going to put this aside and let's move on to the second version that we want to do. So this is a good one for, I like this flower one. How cute is that? Right? You could totally do it sideways like this, which I actually think I might. No, you know what? Because then you won't be able to see the flower. So I am going to sit it upright as well and make sure that we tuck a tea light in. Now I am also going to wrap this one in cellophane because I want the box and this really pretty flower to show. So we're going to do this one in cellophane as well. So cute. I have a different type of cellophane. This one has stars on it. Actually, no, that's going to compete with my box. So let's go back to just a clear cellophane. I'm going to open a new roll. Yeah, see, I bought this for $1.50 at Dollarama. I don't know when. It could have been a month ago. It could have been a year ago. Nobody knows. When it's sitting in the craft room, it could be new or old. Okay, so in order to know how much you need, basically you want to make one side and then you'll roll out the other side. So what I mean by that is, how high do I want this to go? Let's find the center roughly. I'd like it to be at least that high. I want at least this much cellophane off the top of my wrap so that you get that really pretty plume of cellophane. So this is a little short. I'll do a little more. That's good. Now I'm going to do the same by unrolling. And now I know I want to cut right here. I'm going to use the smallest scissors in the world. No, I'm not. I'm going to use these scissors. Pardon me. I know I'm probably cutting this off screen. Hold on. Beautiful, like butter. Like butter. And then we're going to do the exact same thing we did for the last one, which is we want to center and pinch at the center there so that when you're pulling up on each side, it's completely level. And then we're going to grab each corner and do the same thing. Bring it to the center. We'll bring this corner into the center as well. Corner, corner. And that leaves us with these two peaks on each side, which we're going to grab and pull to the center, grab and pull to the center, and then wrap your hands around it like you're gathering a ponytail. And if you don't have any hair, I don't know what you could gather like this. I really don't know. But in the end, you want to be able to hold it like this. Okay. Now, I am probably going to do like a colored ribbon on this one, which I have off to the side here. So to hold this together, I'm going to use my pipe cleaner again, but I'm not going to get all crazy with it this time. I'm just going to, oh, I almost had a little panic. I thought I forgot to put the tea light in there, but I put it. It's there. It's dancing, trying to get out. Okay, I'm going to grab, now I have some skinny ribbon. I've got black, white, gold, and silver. I think I'm going to do gold for this one because I don't know if you can see it, but this box has a tiny faint gold trim. And I enjoy that tie-in. So we're going to do a gold one. This is really, really skinny ribbon. I got this ribbon at, believe it or not, I got it at Walmart. But I don't know why. It's not like I buy ribbon from, or I buy much in terms of crafting from Walmart, but I feel like I was there for something else and I saw this and I was like, oh, you're cute. So, okay. I am going to tie this in the exact same way. That really lovely, loose, like shoelace kind of tie. So let me show you. I'm going to start by just gathering it together and trying to make it even. This is really long. I'm going to end up cutting this ribbon for sure, but it's even. Then I'm going to crisscross. Let's try to get this away from the pipe cleaner so it's easier to take the pipe cleaner out after. Bro, get it together. Okay, so crisscross in the front. Then we're going to go and crisscross in the back and come back to the front. And now we're going to tie it closed. So now I'm going to do crisscross, but under over. I think there used to be a saying for that, like under the river or over the river, dog ears. I don't know. Mary doesn't remember. So just tie it like a shoelace. You get these cute little bunny ears, and now I'm going to take this out. All right. Actually, I can probably leave this pretty much this length because it's going to look really cute. What do you think of that? Okay, let's see these guys side by side. All right. Two different versions. So cute. I'm going to put this aside. And then we're going to do one more. Now, if you're not into cellophane, I hear you. Okay? I hear you. And I am coming for you. Because what we're going to do is we are going to do some gift bags with some tissue paper. Now, I bought these gift bags from, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, but I bought them from the dollar store. And it was a 3-pack. And we've got these two left for this purpose. And I think I'm going to do maybe one of each because we have enough. So let's do that. We're going to start. Now, I highly recommend wrapping each piece individually with tissue paper and then putting some tissue paper on top for it to look pretty. And the reason is when you have a gift bag like this, people can't see what's inside, and they might be a little bit, shall we say, aggressivo with the way they move around their gift bag, and you don't want these things clinking and clanking against each other and possibly breaking. So we are going to take 2 pieces of tissue paper. This is hella long tissue paper. I don't even know why I got this really big tissue paper. Anyway, I'm going to take 2 pieces and I am going to wrap. We're going to use this one. I'm going to wrap okay. I'm not looking to wrap this to make it look pretty so much as I am for it to have a buffer, which is why I put 1/2 on here and 1/2 here. So you can see it's fully kind of protected. And we'll pop you in there. Okay, there's a little bit of room left on the side. We're going to put our bottle in. So let's do this big guy. And we're going to do the same thing for you. I'll get a couple pieces of tissue paper. Okay, that's good. This one I think I might do more like stand up. And we'll kind of do like we do with the cellophane. Twist it on the top. Pull it up from the side. Like that. I might even give it a quick twist. And then we're going to tuck it in. Right beside, oh, I just realized something. I never put a tea light in there. Okay, let's put that back in. So we've got our melts in there, but I got to open this up and put my tea light in there. Because this to me matters. This makes all the difference. This goes from a gift that you can use later to a gift that I can use like now. Right now. Okay, again, one on one side, one on the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in. Beautiful. And we're going to use a pop of red tissue paper. Okay, here's how I do my plumes of tissue paper. Grab your full piece, lay it out, and you want to take the center spot, right in the center, right here, okay? And grab it with your fingers and flip it upside down. You see that? Look at that, beautiful. And you can give it a quick twist and you've got yourself a beautiful tissue plume that you can just tuck right into the bag. And I'm gonna leave this white one here and I'll tuck another red one on the other side. So this is the most convenient. This is the fastest one you can do in terms of, oh, I got to run. I have a bunch of these ready. Oh, I forgot to wrap them up. No problem. Pop it in a gift bag. This is like the fastest. She says as she struggles to get one piece of tissue paper off of here. It should be the fastest. But tissue paper is one of them things. Like, go to the grocery store and buy some fruit and try to get a plastic bag off of the roller thing to get your fruit and tell me you don't want to scream to open that bag. Okay, so I'm going to tuck again into my fingers, grab it, and then flick it upside down. And I've got that end piece. I'm going to give it a quick twist. And we've got this beautiful plume of tissue paper right in the corner here. Let me get this out of the way. Now, I want more white in the middle. You can't really see it well. So I'm going to do one more white piece right in the center. And we're going to tuck that right in there. And let me show you how cute this looks. I'm going to tuck that and tuck that a little more. Look at that. How cute does that look? So there we go. We have 3 different ways and 3 different looks for the same gift. So you can give the same thing to multiple people and it'll look completely different each time. Super fun, super easy, and highly giftable. So I'd love to hear what you think about this. Are you going to make some wax melts to give away to your friends and family this year? I'd love to hear about it. Now, before we conclude our day today, as is my custom here at the IHC Craft Room, anytime I make a candle or a melt, we have to melt one because what the heck? That's what we're here for. So let me move these out of the way. And we are going to light up a tea light. And we are going to smell some of this pretty stuff. Smell these beautiful melts that we just made. Grab a tea light that I got from the dollar store. Now, we could totally melt one of the ones we just did, that we just poured, because they're already solid, see? In the hour it's been. Would you consider this fully solid? No, I can still feel the heat coming off of the bottom of this. So it's still in the process of curing. But if you needed your mold right now and you wanted to demold it to move on, you totally could do that if necessary. But let's not forget that we left a bunch for Mary to use. So let's use some hearts. We've got red and green. Let's see, how many can we fit on here? I don't want to do too many. I don't want this to get messy. Maybe we'll just do 2 little ones like that because they're so cute. So I'm going to light this guy and we are going to see how fast these melt. Now keep in mind, these are quite thick. Okay. If you've never used a tea light warmer before, let me explain what I just did without tipping this over. The whole concept behind a tea light warmer is to use the heat from the flame of your tea light to heat the porcelain of the melter, or the warmer rather, which will ultimately make this really warm and will help melt your wax melts. So that is the overall concept. So my opinion is if you're scared of flames, put your tea light in first and then light it. If you're not scared of flames, then light your tea light and pop it in and then drop a couple of wax melts on top. But until you are used to your warmer, I suggest that you be a little conservative about how big your wax melts are that you put on here, because I have made wax melters overflow more than once. So heed my advice, and perhaps you won't have to go through that as well. Now, I want to say I lit this less than a minute ago. We're going to see how long it takes for that heat to reach and let this start to melt, because so far nothing is melting. We are going to see. But wax melts are a wonderful way to share a lot of different fragrance at the same time. So great for gifting, like obviously, which is why we're doing this today, because I'm all about sharing DIY ways to gift people and show them how much you care. I infuse all of my creations with just a wee bit of Mary love, because I'm giving it to you because I want to. And wax melts are just so much fun. They're so great to test fragrance with. Now, 2 different colors means we've got 2 different fragrances right now that are going to melt together, and they will create a completely unique fragrance that I've never smelled before. It's going to be a combination of holiday nostalgia and mulled plum. What's that going to smell like? Your guess is as good as mine. We're going to see. But I don't know if you can see that the green heart is starting to melt, and I'm getting a little bit of a melt pool happening there. How long did that take? Not even 5 minutes. And we're already seeing this melt, and I'm going to start getting fragrance. So this is why wax melts are so awesome. You can use them quickly. Like right now, if I had to leave, if spontaneously I had to leave, I could blow out this tea light candle and skedaddle, and it would be totally fine. But if this was a candle and I had to blow it out, I would have to end up living with a tunnel in my candle, which is not my idea of a good time. So, but you can see how quickly the wax melts are melting, and it doesn't take much to get really excellent scent throw from your wax melts. So yeah, I highly recommend it. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about wax melts or candle making, I've got a ton of beginner-friendly tutorials on my channel. Lately, I've been doing a lot of these lives because I really enjoy them. And I have a lot of things I want to make during the holiday season. So lives is the best way to go. But if it's not your cup of tea and you'd rather see, you know, a step-by-step tutorial that's shorter, I have a bunch that are 10 to 15 minutes long on my channel as well. And we do everything from making small candles to big ones, 2 wicks, wood wicks, different colors, different fragrances, different types of wax. I've done all kinds of stuff on my channel, and I would love to continue on this journey with you. So I'm so glad you're here with me right now. And I'd love to hear what you think about this awesome wax melt project that we just completed together. I've got a whole bunch of gifts ready to give away to my friends and family. And practically everything except for the wax melts themselves is from the dollar store. These jars are from the dollar store. These melters are from the dollar store. The tea lights are from the dollar store. So very easy. The cellophane, all of that. Very easy for you to recreate a project like this at home. And I really hope you do. And if you do, please let me know in the comments below. How did it go? What did your family and your friends think about it? Did they love it? Were they like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever? I bet you they were. I bet you they did. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today and making these super easy wax melts. I love how festive and fun they are. They're cost effective. You can buy bunches of stuff at the dollar store. You've got a ton of options on how you can gift it. I just love the way this turned out. I love this idea. I've actually done this before. I made a video last year with a similar type of concept, which Mary from the future will tag up here in the corner if you're interested in watching that video. But I really love this concept of being able to make something with my own 2 hands, infuse it with a little bit of Mary love, and give it away as a gift to my friends and family. And I hope you enjoyed doing that with me. Don't forget, I'm back here. This is like a special event that I've never really done a Sunday live before, but I'm going to be back on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. and we're going to dot paint some ornaments. Let me show you how cute these are. These wood slices that I got from the dollar store. We're going to dot paint these on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to make 4 different designs because there's 4 slices in here. And it's going to be a blast. I'm really excited about it. So tune in for that. And spoiler alert, I'm going to make all 4 of them without dotting tools. We're going to use non-traditional dotting tools like the top of a paintbrush and toothpicks and all that jazz. So stick around, come hang out with me on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And then on Thursday at 7, I'm going to be making a holiday wreath, which I can't remember which one I'm going to make. There are so many that I planned out. I don't know which one it is this week, but hang out with me anyway. We'll have a great time. I'll show you how to make the wreath from start to finish using majority of the items from the dollar store. That's something that I generally use in my crafting all the time. I am constantly at the dollar store. They love me. I love them. We're a happy family. You know what I mean? But anyway, you can check out the wreath making with me on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if neither of those things are your cup of tea and you're here for the candle making, then join me next Saturday at 4 p.m. where we're going to be doing another live pour. I'm going to be making a new candle. I'll share all that information with you, and it's going to be a blast. I really enjoy doing these crafts. I'm so glad you're here with me, along for the ride, learning with me, troubleshooting, and having a good time. So I hope you come back. Don't forget to subscribe so that we can continue to get crafty together. Toodaloo!